All right, so as you can see, the theories here like all correlate to the timeline theory of where things all started and where things are going. How you can see that Shinpei clearly here is doing well iterations-wise, given that he's finally gotten some help here.
Naturally.
But the thing is, we need to go back. The key is, looking back at the actual past here. See, as you can clearly see here, y'all, this is a very well thought out theory kind of setup here. But why was Heine mentioned by Hizuru? What does the whole thing with Ushio's phone have to do with anything here? How does Ushio's shadow have the gaps of memories and stuff like this? Why is the shrine important? What is the bird's eye view Shinpei have to do with the correlation to potential fourth dimensional observation?
I mean, I think you are onto something though, legitimately, that the bird's eye view thing with Shinpei is actually going to be something that'll be happening like towards the very end of the show. It'll be part of the resolution.
I think that's possible. I think it's also just a very simple explanation for him to be able to just kind of think and have a little bit of self-talk kind of thing there. But yes, the idea that we've seen Ushio glow in a very similar way. There's also been many specific points where the anime kind of takes a second to have characters focus on specific things. But it's only really been Shinpei and Ushio that have done this, and they have had their moments of glowing. Are we thinking too deep about this? Yeah, I probably am.
I don't think we are, though.
But yeah, welcome everybody. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And I don't have a semblance of sanity. This show has kept me up at night the last week or so.
Yeah.
I've actually rewatched the last 6 or 7 episodes, probably 2 or 3 times, just over the last 2 weeks, I would say. But
I'm just now noticing that your eyes are a little bit bloodshot, and I think
they're
adds
not.
perfectly to.
No, they're not at all. I swear, I'm clean. I'm clean,
bit,
man. I haven't touched the stuff in ages, man. They won't find me. But this show stimulates my lost gene or my lost muscle.
I was straight up
fiber.
going to say, when you were like, I haven't touched the stuff, I was like, lost?
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But, straight up, I've been drawing timelines on whiteboards and trying to make sure that all the Chekhov's plot points keep getting remembered here, because it was the revelation that there were at least 2 or 3 that I had completely
forgotten about
and just kind of cast off to the side as, oh, they didn't seem important then, but now they do.
Right. This guy literally came up to me at 1:30 in the morning. He's like, Jacob, I figured it out.
He's just like, all right, dude, yeah, go for it. And then I kind of rambled for about 5 minutes, and he's like, so doesn't this undermine the whole theory? And I'm like, oh. Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm not quite remembering it perfectly. I had a much more detailed whiteboard, but I erased it without taking pictures.
Because I had to put stuff on the new film of the whiteboard, because the previous stuff wasn't as good as what I was going to put on it.
See, that's why you need as many whiteboards as you can
I actually have a lot of whiteboards.
Yeah, we do have
I actually have 16 of these whiteboards. Yeah. I just was lazy and didn't want to occupy all the whiteboards like a crazy person.
You write different things on the different whiteboards,
and then I start puzzle piecing them all to a specific spot, and then it's like, guys,
what if the timeline actually worked like this? But we are in for some good stuff this episode, methinks, because Ushio is here.
Shadow Ushio. Most likely.
We're not in any immediate danger. Mio's shadow hasn't been dealt with, but that's fine.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
And because you reminded me about the idea that there's a lot of things at play, like Ushio's phone, which hasn't been able to be unlocked and has not been brought up.
Well, it has been brought up, but
not brought up since. It's very much like okay, that was a thing back then because he didn't have any way to get into it. But now that Shadow Ushio is here, maybe she'd be able to help him out with that.
Why you? No, bro. It's all on the whiteboard here. No. Ushio is the key, not Shadow Ushio.
No. Of course, yes.
Shadow Ushio doesn't know anything.
No, but we can access.
Not yet.
No.
Because of the paracausal link.
No. She does know some things. She doesn't know the relevant things.
She just knows what she knows.
She just knows what she knows. But because she knows that she's Ushio, right? She knows about Shinpei and things like that.
She doesn't know that she's Ushio.
No. She's wrong that she's Ushio, but she knows that she's Ushio.
Right.
And she knows about Shinpei, which means that there's a very decent possibility that
she'll just know her luck.
Her phone code. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so then it's the can you do this? Oh, sure. Yeah. All right, cool. And then they start reading 10,000 journal entries from time traveling stuff or whatever, Yeah.
There's probably a limited amount of things that they'll have on the phone because it's the kind of stuff that, well, if Ushio was trying to set things up in the best possible iteration here, and she has to actually pass the torch to Shinpei in that regard, she can't guide him extremely literally and stuff like that because
because she wouldn't know exactly what's going to be happening.
Exactly, right.
But
she
then
has to
also
give the impression.
But then also, she would have to enter in whatever new information she's going to enter on whatever the final iteration is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be saved in the phone. So
right. Which is why.
But there could still be a lot of good stuff in there.
Right, which is why Shadow Ushio, and by extension Ushio, is the key. But it's at what point does then Mio being saved come into this? Because by this stuff here, this iteration is how we're probably going to learn how to stop Shadow Mio,
probably,
thus keeping regular Mio safe for the duration of the iteration until we get to, actual showdown at the festival or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, this show is wild. Yeah. Well, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a great blue face!
Yeah.
もうお化けでも見たような顔して
お前が出てくんのは24日の
なんでそのこと知ってんの
Oh, wait.
あんな新平信じられやんかもしれやんけど24日に大変なことが起きんの
This Ushio knows more.
Yeah.
この匂いわかれ
Ushio hid down below. Yeah. Okay.
手があったか
Ah!
ちゃんめっちゃお腹なった
I'm loving these grand blue faces!
よかった
She recognized the stomach growl.
Yeah.
落ち着けよ
I gotta calm down. Daisan, you gotta...
Bird's eye view.
かなりまずい
Sometime...
異なる展開ってレベルじゃありません
Sometimes a man just enters the mind palace. And Alan too!
This is... Oh, no.
I think the only reason why she's here, this specific setup here, is because there's no way they're going to go behind the counter.
I mean, maybe, but...
あと5分ほどでアランは洗面所へ
Yeah.
トイレに行く
Wow.
Alright.
ほんまちょっとやってんのかこいつ
No, she knows.
自分の部屋で食うわ
2皿も
いやめっちゃ腹減ってんねん
I mean, you did things differently, dude, so you don't necessarily know that
Yeah.
it's gonna go the exact same way. But
I was waiting for her to be like, oh, 2 plates? Yeah, let's eat in your room. That'll be fun,
yeah, she's still got the awkward, like, I like you, I can't, just, do those kinds of things. Otherwise, he'll get the wrong idea, which is the right idea,
See, what I'm waiting for is he comes back out, they're both dead, and Shadow Mio's there, and it's like, yeah,
no, that's literally
you've been
why
busy this iteration,
Kizaru and
haven't
Nezu
you?
are outside. They're,
Oh, right, yeah.
Remember? Could you shush?
食べていい
Don't worry. They soundproofed Shinpei's walls a long time ago.
どうしよ
私バケモンみたいやからな
Okay, so she's getting memories from the looping experience here.
なに
Yeah.
今めっちゃ腰ばかったやけどなんかした
Yeah.
うあいや
Right, because she doesn't know that she's a shadow, so
Right.
it didn't
あ
move.
と
殺せるこいつの影をつぶりとやればでもこいつはあの時
Yeah, exactly. You need to get info here.
なあ新平今日で最後やからさ
Okay.
晩ご飯は新平のカレーがええな
Oh.
これから荷造りとかあんねんまた今度な
新平のアッポケ
Yeah, 2 years ago, so
こんなんてなかった
there was no next time, yeah.
Okay.
So now we got to do it here. It's gotta feel really cathartic.
作ってくれたな
Right.
よかった
Yeah.
また新平のカレー食べられて生きててよかった
Just can't.
うまいか。
Well, I mean, he doesn't need to do
お
it
父さん
now.
が作っても
Sure.
なんかこの味とちゃうんよな。人ヶ島の夏祭りがあんな化け物にめちゃくちゃにされんのは嫌。ミオやみんなが
Also
消えて
killing,
まう
you
の
know,
はもっと嫌。
Yeah.
dozens of people.
俺もや。俺らで止めよう。お前、人間をコピーできんの？敵やんの？
現在8時45分。あと10分で影ミオが現れるはずです。
Nice, nice.
どうですか、ネズさん。
問題ない。
He's gonna fire towards the house?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I guess it's the best angle.
Yeah, to get as much perspective as possible, but
Yeah.
yeah, don't miss. Although I guess he's shooting at the ground anyways.
動いてくれることはないんや。彼は常に
Oh.
臨機応変。
I think he's just thinking about times in which.
あれ今まで変やと思ってなかった。
Oh!
何すんじゃわれ。
俺じゃねえ。
Right, because she doesn't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
コピーした水着やったから。
なんでもええから着るもん貸して。
Okay, so that wasn't just them thinking about it. That
No.
is actually Shadow Mio coming inside.
ミオの影が来る。戸締まりは？
大丈夫や。
Right, she knows about shadows, but she's not aware
Right,
of herself.
okay.
Yeah.
奴らは影に潜ってちょっとの隙間をすり抜けられるみたいやからな。
何それ？私もやってみよう。
Or wait, no, she does know that she should be a shadow. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because she's just.
もう食べ終わっ
Oh, no.
た？お皿
Okay.
洗ってしまいたんやけど。
Good, but she's over here. So that.
Right.
もうええ？あれ、スプーン2つ作ったん？
いや、全く変じゃなくない？
なんで急に標準語？お姉ちゃんおる？
They look towards the immediately.
作ったんやろ？きっといてるよ、お姉ちゃん。
Yeah.
Yeah.
戸ヶ島では亡くなった人の魂は家に帰ってきて守り神になるんやって。
やばいよ。
やばいやばい。
縮まるわ。
And then you hear it.
ミオ、関鋭いとこあるからな。
ちょいやー。なんや。まだ何かあるの？
Nope. Different outfit. Different outfit.
Different
Different outfit.
outfit, dude.
Different outfit.
違う。
Bro.
Yeah, Ushio stepped in the
Oh
way.
my
Yeah,
God.
okay. Shit. But she's a shadow, so that won't actually
Yeah.
do anything.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah, and she didn't know that she was a shadow. So that's it.
She does, but
Or, oh, right. Well, yeah.
she doesn't necessarily know how to fight.
Fuck.
Nice.
Okay.
俺が相手になっちゃる。
しんぺい。
Whoa.
Oh, wait.
お姉ちゃん、なんでしんちゃんの味方をするん？
Okay, so that didn't.
影を殺したネズとミナカタの仲間やで。
Oh no, she's bleeding a lot, but
Yeah, yeah, but
若鈍いやないか。私は新平が好き。好きな人の味方で、なんか文句あんのか？
お姉ちゃんは死んだくせに。
死んだくせによー！
fuck. Well, if she's yelling like that, oh, yep, 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 yep.
yeah.
言わんこっちゃない。
Double tap, triple tap. I like how it's like censored almost by
Uh-huh.
the static.
なんでしんちゃんの
No, 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 double tap.
私だってしんちゃんのこと。
And so, do you go outside to see what happened out there?
しっかりしろ。後ろ。
失礼します。
Yeah.
南雲先生。
That was close.
That was really
なんで
close.
邪魔するんですか。
先生が影を恨んでることは承知してますし、影を全部駆除する
Right,
目
right,
的
right,
を
right.
理解してます。でも、こいつは二度も俺を守ってくれたんです。体張って俺を、だから先生、どうか俺の腕を治してくれたみたいに、こいつの怪我も手当てしてやってください。
まったく君。
Yeah.
見逃してくれた嘆願するならいざ知らず手当てしろだ。
This requires a change. I don't want to deal with that.
君も殺すことになる。
構いません。そしたらまたループして、
Yeah, yeah.
納得してみせます。
And we can't afford to waste time, so you should really just go along with it, right?
Yeah.
ミオ、本物のミオは
Yeah, we haven't checked on the real Mio. Yeah, she's probably dead because
本物はフロだ。さっき確認した。
alive.
本当ですか？
同じだ。この声。私を島に誘った。
Oh shit! Oh
Yep.
shit!
Yep.
傷を見せたまえ。私にあのメッセージを。
Uh-huh.
小舟牛を。
She's pushing everybody into the places they need to be.
All right.
嘘え待って腕が消えてしまった
Wait, what?
痛くないあええか痛ないんやったら
切り替え早すぎやろ。
Yeah.
このメッセージに覚えは。
何
No.
これ私の声やんな
Because she hasn't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
私がこの島にやってきた。
Oh
これ
shit.
が理由だよ。牛尾は確かに君を助けたのだろうし、我々への敵意もないように見える。が、牛尾が故障しているのだとしてもだ。それがいつ治るとも限らない。
That's
それは
Okay.
知らぬ敵を
Sure.
最大の情報へ。
ミオがこれを
Uh-huh.
こっちがオリジナルやな。
オリジナル
それ見てなんか思い出したりせえへんか。その
Oh. Just hoping that.
right.
Yeah, he's thinking about it the wrong way, but that's okay.
どこ行くん
今日からもう店開けんねんて。
Yep.
そっか
Okay.
お父さんらしいわ
You have to go through this bit. Yep.
そう。レストランはいつも変わらずそこにいなくてはならない。
Mm.
アランの口癖だ。守らなければ、
Mm-hmm.
この当たり前な日常を。
All right, then So shows up. Yep.
傘めっちゃ晴れやぞ今日。
いいからいいから。
なんやねん。おかしなや
It's a little bit of prescience now. Yeah.
牛尾の死因についてお前に言うとかなあかんことが。
All right.
Right.
吉川線やろ私が殺されたかもしれやんっていう
そうや。実はな。
Are
Oh
you
my
kidding?
god.
牛尾、もう変装解いてええぞ。
牛尾って。
That's so cruel! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
You couldn't show Mio?
フリーズしてら
Do it one at a time, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he's
全てを
frozen.
そうに
Yeah.
伝えた。
Okay.
今回もそうは黙って最後まで話を聞いてくれた。
Okay.
Right, because we've confirmed at this point that he's not a shadow, so yeah.
謝っても取り返しつかんことくらい分かってる。せやけどせめて俺を殴る。
Yep.
立てそうこれでキースだ
This episode had to have been directed or something by the
Yeah, I know.
red
It's
blue guys. Too much. Oh my god. Oh,
あ私の携帯
yes.
perfect. Good. Good, good, good.
あれパスワードが変わってる
Oh.
あ開いた
Wait.
指紋認証で
Oh!
何でもいいから。
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
because then information won't do anything. You actually need Ushio.
Yeah.
私が死ぬ前の日の朝に一個だけ動画
Whoa, let's go, let's go.
All right. What do we got?
Oh, you bitch!
You fucker!
You piece of shit!
You cuck.
Yeah!
Like,
You give us all these grand blue faces and then you don't give us the opportunity
Yeah.
ourselves to go whoa at whatever's on the video.
oh my god.
Wait, what? Oh, okay, no, that's right. We've
This
seen
show.
this many times before, yeah.
That was like this show has well established itself to be very cheeky with its episode endings,
Cliffhanger
you know?
an episode.
Yep, but
All right, well,
That was-
Ushio is here.
she's here.
And it's a shadow again, but specifically something's different.
Yeah.
Something's different. And I have not a clue as to why.
I feel like-
there's some explanations that he's come up with of, oh, she must be, you know, from the previous iteration, which I think is his limited perspective speaking,
Right.
and it's the best explanation he can come up with, but it doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
It feels off.
It's something where it's such a big difference, and yet I feel like it's one of those things where we don't actually have anywhere close to enough information.
Correct, yeah.
To make any kind of
concrete judgment.
Yeah, or even hypothesis of what it might be. It'd be truly guesswork at this point. But that's wonderful from a tension and entertainment perspective because
definitely.
I want to.
Right? I want to have progression with her character.
Yeah, and we're getting it, and so it's like, okay,
and
awesome.
She's a part of the main cast now. Yep. She's now actively moving and grooving with Shinpei, and also is somewhat set up in a way to be the perfect ally in a lot of these instances here. In a way, the fact that she's here in this iteration perfectly protected Shinpei, if you think about it that way.
Yeah.
And it's almost like
she's the safety bumpers in the bowling alley. Like
exactly. Yeah. She's trying to do her best to guide Shinpei towards the good ending, basically. Yep. We have ourselves our tutorial assistant AI in a video game, in a JRPG, where it's hey, you're gonna go down some routes and it's gonna get crazy, but while you can always save your game, we're gonna try and help you towards
Right, you got limited save slots, so
less, so you don't have to use all the slots. Exactly. Yeah. So you can get it in as few iterations as possible, because there is something scary where you set yourself up in a canon bad route where your options become less and less because you're starting too close to the finish line. So very simple episode from that regard, because it's mostly about the dealing with Shadow Mio, which I loved the way Shinpei in this episode just acted. He went full Curry rescue us, the opening up the window, the I could kill Shadow Ushio right here, but no, I'm not going to.
Right.
Just well done, Shinpei.
Because she fundamentally acted different than just about any other Shadow you've seen thus far, in that, you went and poked your Shadow, and she responded to that, but she didn't avoid it. It's
right.
Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah. So he's there was a little bit of also a weird bit of skipping where I feel like they had him communicate to her that she's a shadow in just enough of a way that she is like, cool, I'll accept that. That's fine. But she doesn't know what it means to be a shadow. Because this is the part that's this funky with the way that they're doing this. The previous iteration had a bad end. Mm-hmm. We had a bad end, but Ushio acted in the midst of that, saving Shinpei so that he could actually be killed, which is always funny just to think about. But she seemed to know very little about anything regarding the festival plot. She seemed to know nothing.
Other than just, it goes bad on the 24th.
No, she didn't know anything about that in the previous iteration.
Oh, no, in the previous iteration, right.
Yeah. My point is that somehow, from previous iteration to this one, she gained the info, and the explanation that he came up with is, well, she experienced the previous iteration and she looped back with me. Which is possible. That is a theory. But the thing that's weird about that is that if she's looping, and she has, that kind of limited info there, why is she looping to a fixed point, like the
beach,
basically?
Well, I'm guessing if she's getting caught up in the loop, she wouldn't necessarily go to the same location that Shinpei's at, because Shinpei doesn't change locations. He just goes to wherever he was at that point in time.
But it seems more like for her, she's fixed at a location, because the time that we see her kind of with the fireworks and stuff going off, she's kind of like, oh, here I am at the beach.
Well, that aspect of it is weird, because there was nothing that would have made her wake up sooner, unless there was, the only explanation that I could think of is some shadow hive mind shenanigans, right? Sure. Even if she's ignoring it, she's still connected somehow, right?
Right.
But other than that, unless she changed, which it seems she did.
Which the show is going with the explanation that she experienced the previous iteration, and that's where most of her agency is coming from.
And so as a result, she'll do things a bit differently, right? She doesn't just wait at the beach for a really long time. Okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah, but it's...
Yeah, I feel like the part that makes it strange for me is I'm trying to factor in the idea that if she did have the previous iterations experiences involved in her, why is she not more... If she is Ushio, obviously, that's kind of the thing about these shadows and stuff. Why is she not more emotionally affected by the fact that everyone died? It was all horrible and everything.
Yeah,
because I feel like she's got more memories, if that makes sense. But I don't think she necessarily experienced the previous iteration.
Yeah, it feels like she's reading off a script a bit. Not with regards to the things that she says. Well, actually, a little bit with regards to the things that she says. Because I could totally see all the times that Shinpei's like, stay here, whatever, I'm going to go do something. And she specifically ignores that. That sounds to me like
someone who doesn't understand
Ushio
the threat of the situation.
Is like, nah, he's making a mistake here, go. Right?
Oh, sure,
and if you think about that, all the times that she's done that so far, it's actually been helpful.
Very helpful.
The one time, she didn't end up getting killed, right? Because the shadows, at the festival in the bad end, the shadows were going to go back and get her, and she had left because she didn't listen to what they were saying, right?
Right.
Here, she goes with him, and then as a result of that, So's made into like a very solid ally, right? Cool.
Yeah.
And probably a lot easier, right? With less time needing to be spent to convince him because he's actually seeing Ushio here with one less arm.
Yeah. Okay. The Mio change, though, being that there's information passed along, I liked that the shadows are competent in that regard, but it does then call into question how the information is shared and what the limits are in that. Because if it's perfect hive mind stuff, then it might be impossible for our heroes to do really anything interacting with one shadow before things are going to get hard reset because the shadows just come after you. Now, the shadows don't know in every iteration that he's a looper, so him dying is not a problem, but I think they're going to have to at some point, probably for the sake of just the narrative, define the limits of shadow information sharing.
Yes, and Ushio could be a way that they theoretically get into that because she is a shadow, so if she gets to the point where she's able to talk with him about the whole idea of her being a shadow but not going along with them, because that was actually the thing that I was most expecting to happen in the Ushio Mio confrontation and the aftermath of it, because Mio specifically called her out of like, why are you doing this, right?
Well, we've had that happen with Shadow Shinpei already, and Ushio didn't.
Right, she didn't really respond, right?
Yeah, she's basically like, you're
and in this one, her response was, I love Shinpei.
Right.
Okay, cool. From the emotional angle, I get that, right?
Yeah.
But and that's probably what it would have to be for a shadow to turn.
Well, right, but because also she doesn't know what a shadow can do then. That's again the thing that is
right, because he's like, oh, shadows can travel through cracks or whatever, and then she's like, oh, okay, I'll try that, and then she slams her head into the floor,
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right, so she can't use her shadow abilities. What's also fun about that, the way that this is specifically potentially set up, is that Ushio is potentially traveling backwards towards the awareness and ability and competence of what regular looping Ushio had by the nature of the way this is going.
If this continues,
and thus will also then gain, probably over the course of time, shadow abilities that they'll then be able to use more and more frequently.
You feel your bond strengthening.
No, really. Yeah. But that's kind of the progression path that we're setting up here. We have a magical girl that is going to gain power and stuff over every iteration. And the scary part is whether that correlates immediately to the problem of, maybe she'll then become a problem as a shadow, or if that's a completely disconnected thing that they'll realize, here's how we block that. Here's the stakes for how we protect Ushio as a shadow from becoming controlled.
And I totally love that as a theory that Hizuru/Ryunosuke would have.
Right.
Because they want to destroy all shadows, and they don't know why Ushio is acting differently here, or Shadow Ushio is differently
back
here.
Off.
Yeah, it's we don't want to mess with that noise, even though you dying would cause things to loop. We don't want to be anywhere near that, and watch out for in case that doesn't last.
Right, and because because Shinpei is in a situation where he can loop, if Shinpei at some point later finds the way to convince Hizuru/Ryunosuke, then fine, sweet, that's good.
Yep.
You'll figure that on your own. But I don't want to risk, that happening
Right.
on a, bad loop, basically.
Well, yeah, because the main thing that that I could see Hizuru being worried about, and I thought, wait, could this actually be what's going on theoretically? And then I remembered that Ushio actually helped Shinpei reset when everything was going bad, so she is safe.
No, she's completely 100%
100% good.
Yes.
It would have to be something where she's changed to being back on the shadow side. Because if not for that element, it could have been something where it's they found about what Shinpei can do or something, and
yes, of
she's
course.
the cover
But
agent
that's
or
not
something.
happening in the story. So,
That's not happening.
So with this episode, the main thing that we're setting up here is that we can now systematically go and unlock routes, basically, with more characters beyond Hizuru and Ryunosuke. And this is something that, upon rewatching the show, it makes sense with the way that they're setting this up. It does feel like the reason why we can have a 25-episode show with so little time advanced potentially forward,
Right.
is that we're going to alternate the perspective and show kind of where a specific character was and what they're doing during these 3 days.
Yeah,
So if we focus with So next, like that's where we'll take things.
Alternate
basically.
perspectives and also dramatically branching timelines. So that
Very
way,
wide decision.
yeah, exactly.
changes,
So
yeah.
that way, let's say all of the stuff with the bad end and what that looks like and everything that we're dealing with right now, that's one thing. But 8 episodes later, they will have changed things so much that maybe they're dealing with a bunch of shit at the hospital, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and so then if we iterate over that, 2 or 3 times, that's not a problem for us, the audience, because it's new content.
Right. It's essentially a sideways progression where instead of leveling up, it's basically the unlocking new locations and new people in existing levels. And so, yes, Hospital is very much going to be a later game kind of iteration or route. But yes, So being brought in this way and the way the show decides to do the pacing of introducing people is just and we told them everything.
Yep.
I love that we've graduated from the how much stuff do we tell to it's who do we tell and when, and then once we do, we download everything.
Yep.
And we go on, move forward. And now we're unlocking the phone. Perfect. All right, let's find out who's on the phone. This was a much slower paced episode in that regard because we had all the action and stuff.
And the comedy on top.
And the comedy was off the chain. But
Yes.
Now that we're immediately going through a method that Ushio as a human has set up, probably also as a looper, to then give them info from the past, which is effectively a way of changing the future
Right. Yep.
beyond your looping. That's
it's
another
great.
really, really cool thing that they can have here, because part of the issue that the whole show sets up is Ushio dies here. Shinpei comes back here. At this point, he gets the ability. How does the ability go from a person that died here and thus stopped looping to a person here with that same person being the one for the transfer? And it's like, well, it was maybe the shadow, or it's maybe some kind of paracausal stuff, or maybe it's some fourth dimensional observance stuff. It basically goes into things that are not established within the world building of the show yet. Except maybe this stuff with Ushio is starting to give us here's a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Because
and they can,
somehow she has new memories
right.
from this iteration that aren't here,
And that's a fun additional way to have there be progress from episode to episode, which is something that the show has been knocking out of the park, which is even more impressive because it's a time loop show, but also
not having
because
to be focused on Shinpei.
not having to be focused on Shinpei, but then also because it's such a long show, they can really take their time with that because they can, they can do it at whatever pace they feel is best. So
Right. And I think the more characters that you bring into the cast as a whole, the slower the pace is going to be. So we probably are going to head into a much slower paced part.
And from
of the
a
story.
mechanical standpoint, that also is a reason why they don't tell Mio about it. Because it's even though we skipped past this conversation here, that probably took a solid 45 minutes, right? Like, where it's
it's time.
It's time. And so, you don't want to have to deal with that if you don't have to. You don't want to have to worry about keeping them safe, since as far as they know now, if their shadow's been defeated, then they're good. You don't have to worry about them.
Yeah. But
yeah,
y'all, great
stuff.
episode, good stuff.
And you fuck you for ending the episode there.
I think that's what we just have to expect at this point.
Yep, I know, but I'm never going to like it. I like it, but I also don't like it,
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play on Twitch, and if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.